The experience we've had on previous racing games has really helped us bring the core racing to the next level. So the place where we started really was the handling of the vehicle.
The handling was completely changed from one milestone to the next. And suddenly where we were complaining, oh, I can't drift properly, milestone later, you're like, this is fantastic.
The racing group on our team has been working on the handling, the physics. Our game is much more physical than some other kart racers, so there's such a huge physics component in it.
For example, the kart mass is 300, so change that to 400, enter that into the game, and then instantly the game will update, and the car will be different.
I think we're definitely in the arcade racing kind of fold, but don't be fooled. It's not necessarily just a kid's game. It has the pick up and play, but to get in there, there's lots of depth there, lots of fun.
We took inspiration from a lot of more simi-style driving games. What we can do here then is apply like slip and drag values, so when you go into slow grass, how much it'll slow you down. It's gone to the point where, you know, like if someone makes one minute change to it, I'm like, oh, something's different. So actually having the game feel right is what's most important.
We wanted this game to feel like kart racing evolved. And so we needed that additional maturity and complexity in the gameplay itself. So we've added in some new moves like side swiping, wall riding, and the drifting, you're really able to, with the steering and counter steering, to really kind of pick your lines, stay with those lines, and almost go beyond what you'd actually think would be doable, which is pretty cool.
It feels a lot more physical, the collisions are a bit more real, and you actually get a lot more reward from your driving. Through playing the game, through drifting and drafting and doing stunts, you earn boost. So in our game, once you've got enough boost, you can obviously boost, you can shield up, you can sideswipe opponents, and this is just giving the player the tools that they need to play the game without weapons. Then obviously when you layer on the weapons, it's a whole new experience. They just add another layer to our game. The thing that we always set out at the beginning was make it fun to fire a weapon, but also make it fun to be hit by a weapon. The animations and the reactions, and also everything in between, so being able to anticipate when you're about to be hit, giving you the skills to deflect weapons with the shield. That's been a real challenge, but it's also awesome. It's what makes the game great fun.
We tried to look at games with lots of weapons, games with other styles of driving, and then use all of those and amalgamate them into one nice little package.
The weapons sound huge, but they still have kind of a nice mix of a cartoony fun feel as well.
There's a lot of advanced techniques you get from the physicality with the weapons. Being able to throw weapons at the side and bounce them off, and it's almost like pinball in some circumstances where you can fire weapons and ricochet them around the track, and it's great fun to do. The weapon balancing is incredibly difficult. You need to work out how weapons are fired, when they're fired, the rate that they fire, stun times, invincibility times, and tuning all that while remembering that the player can have control over all this stuff as well, really, by putting a number of iron pods down or making the track small or long.
If I'm testing a particular feature, a weapon, I'll load up like an easy track and then maybe a more complicated track to make sure it kind of holds up in both spaces. We'll set up like a 12-player online race and people will get weapons, and we'll kind of set people in coordinated spots and make sure it's hitting where it's supposed to, and you know, watching 12 screens as the weapon flashes by, so that kind of stuff.
Another top tip for creating is don't put weapon after weapon after weapon, you know? Put a weapon, leave a little bit of space so you can actually use that weapon, put another weapon, and then you kind of add that risk reward, you know, with our weapon system, which allows you to upgrade. When you collect that first weapon, do I wait until the next row of weapon pods, or do I actually use my weapon straight away? And that's the risk reward that you get from the weapon system.
Just on the strategy people use on how they use their boost and shields and weapons, yeah, it keeps it super exciting.
Eventually, when you start to see people playing, and we start doing online races and people are laughing and enjoying themselves, you know you have something right.
It's a nice, good, fun arcade racer, and it's got the weapons in it. Our weapons are compelling, they're enjoyable to use, they interact with the game world. I think, honestly, our big eureka moment came when we kind of realized, yeah, this game is fun, and there's so many different ways to play it. So what we deliver, people are going to love.
PlayStation